As parents, we try to expose our kids to different activities based on their interests and strengths so that we can give them the best chances to succeed in life. We may discover that every kid is unique and they each learn best in different ways. So, if you're a parent with an autistic child, you may wonder because individuals with autism struggle with language, communication, and social skills, what are some of the best ways for them to learn adaptive skills and socially appropriate behaviors?
Hi, my name is Henry.
And my name is Sally.
We're both board-certified behavior analysts.
Welcome back to Bridge Kids channel, where you can check out our videos on a wide variety of topics and resources on autism, ranging from social skills development and sensory needs to valuable parenting tips with autistic individuals.
So don't miss out on these very helpful resources by subscribing to the Bridge Kids channel. So let's dive right into today's video.
As a parent with an autistic child, you may notice your child struggling with being flexible with different choices and transitioning from activity to activity. Then, you may be wondering the best way to teach and support your child as he or she navigates through challenges with language, communication, and social skills. And you may sometimes notice that at school with some students, they may have an assistant supporting them with a small board filled with picture cards on it. So today, we'll be talking about the idea of the visual schedule. A typical visual schedule consists of a laminated board with a sequence of visual cards containing pictures, symbols, or words representing activities or tasks lined up in order on the board. Besides the token system, it is amongst the most prominent sites during intervention and support for autistic learners. Visual schedules are typically introduced to the learner very early on in the learner's intervention and support in order to help the learner to be more aware and understand the sequence of activities to be completed as a part of a routine. This introduces structure and predictability into the learner's life. Since autistic individuals can easily be overwhelmed by minute changes in their environment, having a visual schedule can greatly reduce their anxiety and fear. Now, knowing what a visual schedule is all about, why are visual schedules effective for autistic individuals? This is because many autistic individuals are strong visual learners and they process and learn through visual information very well. Visual schedules provide a clear structure and routine which are comforting and beneficial. For autistic individuals, since they struggle with perceiving and processing ambiguous information that changes quickly based on different environmental contexts, having visual schedules can help them understand more difficult tasks since they offer tangible representations of abstract concepts.
At this point, you may ask, so what are some of the best ways to introduce and teach the use of visual schedules for autistic learners? The key is to start simple and teach in small steps. If your child has a lot of challenges moving on from one task to another or focusing on one activity at a time, instead of setting up a visual schedule with 5 activities, perhaps try setting it up with just 2 activities on the visual schedule. Begin with a few key preferred or familiar activities or tasks that the child usually engages in everyday life. For example, morning, after school, or bedtime routines are usually great places to start. Once your child becomes more consistent in following the activities on the visual schedule, you can gradually increase the number of activities planned on the visual schedule. To increase the chance of success, first use the visual schedule consistently across different settings and activities. Second, custom the schedule based on the individual's preferences and needs. Also, you can pair the visual schedule with the token system to reward cooperation during transitions between activities. Now that the learner is starting to understand the idea of visual schedule, what other skills can the learner pick up as a result of learning to use the visual schedule? The ability to follow through a visual schedule independently certainly opens up the learner to many other possibilities. The learner can learn the following skills through visual schedules. First, understanding the concept of time and sequencing of activities. Second, promoting independence by encouraging the learner to choose and plan the activities that he or she wants to do on the visual schedule. Third, learning to be flexible in adapting to changes and accepting routines that the learner may not prefer. Lastly, through visual schedules, the learner can learn to express his or her needs and preferences through visuals. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this video has helped you get started in introducing structure, predictability, and order into your child's life.
If you have made it this far, please hit subscribe to our channel and leave a comment down below on what you would like to see in our upcoming videos. And as always, remember to stay informed and empowered as parents. Until next time, take care.